Hey, welcome back to practice. In today's class, we're going to be exploring flow yoga, but working with hip flexion and hip extension both actively and passively. To begin, come to child's pose. So this control of breath, we call it pranayama in yoga. It means restraining the breath. And we usually think of restraining as like holding something. But in this case, restraining means to control or to take the reins of the breath. So savoring that process of filling up. And savoring that process of emptying out. Press down into the shins and the hands. Rise to all fours into tabletop hands and knees. And pause here. Eyes are now open, crown of the head reaching away from the tailbone. Practice pranayama here, so that same smooth, steady way of breathing. You've just changed your position and relationship to gravity. Then walk your hands a handprint forward, so give yourself just a little bit of a reach pattern through the arms. And in a slow way, begin to circle the pelvis. When you sit back and your belly gets close to your thighs, there's that hip flexing position. And when you go forward and let your pelvis drop, if you can do that, you get into that extension of the hips. So in terms of your circle, can you make it big enough that your hips kind of hang forward when you bring the hips to the front? And they push backwards when you bring them way towards the back edge of your yoga mat. Take it into reverse, so going the opposite way. And bring it all the way back to center. Walk the wrists underneath the fronts of the shoulders and articulate your spine. So inhale, sit bones lift, belly down, chest forward, chin up. When you exhale, round from the bottom first, tailbone under, belly and rib cage up, chin down. So as you inhale, you're creating the back bend from your tailbone all the way up to crown of head reaching up. And when you exhale, you're creating the rounding, but it's starting at the tailbone and then climbing all the way up towards the head, neck, shoulders. So it's a kind of slowed down and more articulated version of cow and cat. And one more time. Come to neutral without letting your belly hang. So you're keeping that engagement of the front of your trunk pulling up away from the floor. Step your knees in just a little closer, so narrow your leg base. And practice hip flexion, so bring your right knee forward, right thigh to the chest. And then practice hip extension. So keep your knee bent and try to lift your thigh bone till it's parallel to the floor. In this work of actively pulling thigh bone forward, knee forward, and then actively extending thigh bone and knee up and back. Release that right knee to the floor and shift over. So do this with the left side. So the first movement is thigh bone to your ribs or thigh bone to your chest. And second movement is thigh bone is parallel to the floor as you can get it. And you're already going to notice, oh, my hips really like doing this one thing. And they feel a little bit inhibited doing the other. Likely knee to chest is a little easier and you have a little more range than extending thigh bone up and back. And release the left knee. And it's my fault. I did that to you. I trained you that way over all these years. Take your knees and walk them back a little bit. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up and back into your first downward facing dog. Now you could stay still in your first down dog. You could sway your hips side to side. You can walk in place. So come into some movement or absence of movement that helps you to really climb inside of this pose that we take so frequently. And come to a place where the heels are releasing down. Now you may have bent knees with your heels releasing down, or you might have straight legs. Either way, it's right, it's cool. And what about here, bringing your right knee towards your nose and then extending that leg up and back. So we've kind of opened up, made a little bit more space for pulling thigh bone to rib cage, and then pressing heel to the sky. The flexion is the pull forward, and the extension is the reach back. Release that right foot to the floor. Try that with your left leg. Bend the knee first, knee forward, heel up. Then release that left foot to the floor. Take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, bring your right foot forward between your hands. Here we go. That's the hip flexion pattern. Inhale here. And exhale, step the left foot forward between your hands. Fold in, standing forward bend. Take a few rounds of half lifts. Press the feet. Inhale, extend the spine forward. Exhale, fold over the legs. Now you may have hands to shins or hands on the floor. Either way, it's right. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, release. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Press into your feet. Inhale, reach the arms all the way out and up. Look up. Exhale, bring your hands together in prayer. And when you get there, close your eyes. And take a moment to breathe and to ground and center. This collecting of yourself in this strong pose of the mountain. And even as we explore some modern kind of movement mechanics, movement science techniques here in this practice, we chant the sound of Om to pay respect to the lineage from which this practice came. Exhale fully. And take a deep breath in. Release the arms, allow your eyes to open. Let's warm up a little more through sun salutation. Inhale, raise your arms and lift your eyes. Exhale, fold out and over and down. Inhale, lengthen just as you did before. Exhale, step to plank. Keep exhaling, put the knees on the ground and gradually come to the floor. Press the thighs, tops of feet into the ground. Inhale, cobra. This is hip extension pattern. Now tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back into down dog. And there's that flexion pattern. Breathe here, 4 steady breaths. 1. Weight the fingertips. 2. Firm the outer arm bones towards the floor. 3. Draw your front ribs up and in. 4. Thigh bones press back. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bend both knees. Look forward at where you're going to bring your legs. And inhale, step, step, or jump. Keep inhaling, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet. Inhale, reach all the way to the top. Exhale and release the arms. Again, inhaling, lift. Exhaling, bow. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to step back, lower down. Maybe you keep the knees lifted in chaturanga now. Inhale, cobra or up dog, extending the hips. Exhale, fold back, down dog, flexing them. 1. 2. 3. And 4. Deep inhale. Exhale, knees bend, eyes glance forward. Inhale, step or jump. Keep inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, bow. Inhale, reach to the top. Exhale, return to mountain pose. Go feet as wide as the mat. Reach back, interlace the hands, shoulder stretch, brief one. Straighten the arms all the way. This is where you may need a strap to hold a strap to straighten the elbows and collect the shoulder blades together behind you. Bend your knees a little so there's softness there. Inhale, chest and eyes lift. Exhale, fold towards your thighs. Head hangs and travel your arms up and over. Keep letting your head hang, then root down into your legs. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And release the clasp of your hands. Step in so your feet are at hips distance apart. Bring your hands together in prayer. Then put weight into your left leg. Lift your right knee until your thigh bone is parallel to the ground. So going into that active hip work. And then we're going to step right leg back. So start to extend your right leg back until you feel the need to hinge from your left hip crease and lean forward. Reach your right leg way back and land the toes. And then hands to the hips, push into the front foot. Get more vertical with your spine, and then get vertical with your arms in high lunge. So stepping back it's probably going to feel awkward, right? Because we haven't trained for it for, I don't know, I've been teaching at Breathe for almost 10 years, right? So we haven't trained for it for 10 years, unless you're training this in another realm, right? Now slowly lower your back knee to the floor. Let it land. Bring your hands together in prayer. Untuck those right toes. Hinge forward. Take a breath in. When you exhale, twist, but don't hook yet. Inhale again. Can you get a little longer? So we're active twisting. Exhale, can you turn your right ribs to the left even more? Now hook the elbow outside of the leg. Bring the hands back to prayer and explore this twist where you're latched onto your leg to help you to turn. So when we latch the arm, passive range of motion. An unlatched arm, active range of motion. Then release and unwind, touch the floor. Pull back to that half splitting position where the left toes go up. And you can use blocks underneath your hands if you need to bring the floor up a little bit, and then fold towards that long leg. Maybe you walk your arms forward. So think of bringing belly towards thigh bone, but staying long through the spine. Bending the left knee so the left foot grounds, tucking right toes, lift that knee back there. Walk your hands and arms forward. Stand up on your left leg. Lift your right leg. So this is extending it up from the hip joint. See if you can keep your toes slightly pointed down. Release the crown of your head towards the floor. So the standing split variation. As you're lifting the lifted leg, also extend out through the heel like you could grow the leg that much longer. And then slowly exhale, right foot to the floor, parallel to the left. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, raise the arms all the way to the top. Exhaling, hands come together in prayer. Place the weight onto your left leg, right leg, lift your left thigh, bending the knee, bring it parallel to the floor. Then stay standing up tall, extend the leg. You'll feel the point at which you have to lean forward to be able to extend the leg even farther. And then straighten that leg, reach through the toe mounds way back as you bend the right knee. Hands come to the hips, get vertical with the spine, get vertical with the arms. High lunge. Tailbone is down towards the floor. Long pubic bone is scooping towards the chest. Then feel like the floor has a magnet and it's pulling that back knee down to it. Untuck the toes. Lean forward, hands together in prayer. Take breath in. Exhale, twist a little, don't hook yet. Inhale, lengthen even more. Exhale, twist a little more. So hard when you're doing it active. One more, lengthen. Exhale, twist, then latch. Now you get into your passive. You use some pushing of arm against leg to turn you. Unwind, touch down, pull back, runner stretch. So think of bringing belly to thigh while maintaining length. Walk the hands forward if needed. Now bend front knee. Tuck back toes, lift back knee, walk forward. Stand up on straight right leg. Raise the left leg. Fold towards the strong standing leg. And just exhale, release left foot parallel to right. Standing forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale and release the arms by your side. Coming back to that left hand to hip, right knee pulled up towards you. Work your right hand down so you're more at the outer ankle. And start to extend your leg back behind you. Then switch your grip. Go to the inside of the foot instead of the outside of the foot. And use your hand to pull your leg. Your arm pulls your leg back. You're going to feel like, okay, I have to start to lean forward. So do that. Reach the left arm forward, dancer's pose. Extending from the right hip, folding at the left hip. Put your eyes with laser concentration on a single point. One more breath. Bring it slowly back together and release the right leg. Shake it out a little. Try the other side. Start with left hand to hip. Right knee right hand to hip, left knee is hugged in with left arm. Reach down to the ankle and start to bring that thigh bone back behind you without leaning forward yet. Switch your grip to the inner foot. And then as you tug up, you'll feel, okay, I have to lean my upper body forward. Do that. Reach right arm. Pull the left leg up. Fold at the right hip crease. So using this passive hip extension to help you find this balance point. As slowly as you came in, release that first side or second side. Okay, now we're going to try it active. Bring your hands together in prayer to get started. Right knee comes up towards you. Right leg starts to extend back. Keep extending it until you feel the need to fold through the left hip crease. Left arm goes forward, right arm reaches back, but you grab nothing. Active dancer's pose. Totally weird, right? One more breath. Bring it all back together and release. Last side. Right hand to, or let's go hands to prayer. That's better. Left knee pulls up. Start to extend the leg back. Then you'll feel, okay, I've got to hinge forward. I've got to lean forward. Right arm reaches forward. Left arm reaches back. Grab nothing. Explore the shape without grabbing and yanking and wrangling. Last hold breath. Breathe and come all the way back. Release that. Whew. Inhale, raise the arms. Let's flush that out. Exhale, hip hinge and forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back, lower down. Breathe in, stretch the front of you. And breathe out, fold back into downward dog. Take your left foot, step it in by about an inch. Hover your right foot about an inch off the floor. Raise your right leg slow, extend it up, and then bring the knee in. Shin bone hooks in, creating the shape of pigeon without dropping. Try to pull your knee towards your right wrist, lift your inner heel towards the front of your left hip, and then land it. Oh, passive is so much better, right? Scoot your back leg back. Untuck the toes back there. And then come down into fully passive resting pigeon pose. So you're laying over the front shin. The ground is holding your hip in this deep external rotation. And the benefit is, for me, it feels like a great stretch. That is not the case for everybody. You might feel like, oh, get me out of here. And just breathe into whatever experience you're having. And travel arms back so spine peels up, belly peels up away from front shin. Tuck toes. Okay, we're not going to swing back to down dog. Push into the floor till your arms are straight. Lift that shin, lift the back knee so you're hovering in active pigeon. Then extend up and back from the hip out through the toes or the heel. Then release the leg. So there's no momentum at play here. Step your right foot in a little. Hover your left foot about an inch off the ground. And then raise it up, extending, reaching from the front of the hip out through the toes or the heel. Then bring the knee in. Shin swings in on a diagonal. Come forward leg plank. See if you can lift inner front heel towards the front of your right hip. Outer knee presses, creating that pigeon leg without landing it. Then go ahead and land it. Scoot your right leg back. Untuck. Come down into the glory of passive. Forehead releasing. Belly resting over front shin. And breathe. And stepping hands, arms back towards you till the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Push into the floor, draw your navel back, tuck your back toes under, lift the knee, and then unsuction the shin from the floor up into that active pigeon. Then extend the leg way high up and back and release the foot to the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, crouch. Inhale, come through to seated. You can step, jump, walk, or crawl. And once you arrive at seated, I'm going to face forward for this. We're going to build butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. Start with your legs wide, and when you take them wide, lift one up, step it out, put it down, lift the other one up, step it out, put it down. Then lift this foot up, this leg up, bend the knee, externally rotate, pull your heel in as close as you can towards your crotch, and put the outer edge of your foot down. Do the same thing with this leg. Lift it, bend it, externally rotate it, drag the heel in actively, match the feet in prayer, and you've set up your Baddha Konasana. Instead of grabbing and pulling, take your arms in front of you Press your outer knees down. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, keep pressing your outer knees down. Reach forward, hinge forward, lean forward. Turn the palms to the floor and fold. Then use inhale to lengthen and exhale to come all the way up. From here, we go to head to knee forward fold. To come out, go hands to prayer. Lift your right leg up, extend it out and put it down. Lift your left leg up, extend it out and put it down. Okay, lift your right leg up, pull the knee way back towards your shoulder. Place the foot against the inner leg and let the knee fall out to the side. Then if you need to, just like in tree for those last few inches, passively go ahead and pull so the foot is high up the inner thigh. Inhale, reach up, ribs back. Exhale, fold towards the straight leg. Use a breath in, lengthen with it, and exhale, come all the way up. Okay. Don't grab anything, hands to prayer. Lift your leg, extend it forward, put it down. Keep your hands in prayer. Lift the left leg. Pull the knee high and wide like you're going towards your shoulder with it. Pull the heel in, sole of the foot to the inner leg, and then press the knee wide. Reach down, guide it that last few inches up and in. Square centered, inhale, reach, ribs in, so it's not a back bend. Exhale, fold towards the straight leg. Head towards knee, forward bend. Use breath in to lengthen and exhale to rise up. So to come out, hands to prayer, lift it, extend it, and place it. I'm going to turn sideways for this. Keep your spine tall, keep your hands in prayer. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee, and put your foot on the floor, just about a foot in front of that sit bone. Then do the same thing with the other one. Bend, place. Arms go in front of you, sit up tall, and then start to round like you're doing cat. Tailbone tucks underneath. Slowly lower your spine to the ground. So see if you can go tailbone, back side of the pelvis, lower spine, mid spine, high spine, shoulder blades, head, coming all the way down onto your back. Keep the knees bent. Take your arms to cactus. Bring your right knee towards your body. And then swing your knee out wide and your heel into the midline. So it's that pigeon work, right? External rotation of the hip. Now let your ankle rest against the lower thigh. Push the knee nice and wide. Take a breath in. Exhale, pivot your hips to the left. Turn your head to the right. Breathing here in this final twist. Bringing your head to the center, lower body back to the center. You'll be very tempted to uncross quickly, but let's do all the steps. So first, unattach your ankle bone from your thigh bone. Then get your hip more to flexion, so your shin bone swings right out a little, and then put your foot down. Try the other side. Knee to you first. Thigh externally rotates, shin pulls in. Then do the connection of ankle bone, and the knee can fall a little farther forward. Now you twist. Lower body right, upper body left. Head rolls to center. Bring the lower body back to center. Then pull your ankle bone away from your thigh bone. Bring your hip more to neutral so shin swings out, and place the foot. Then take your arms, reach them up. Bring your legs in towards you. Extend at your knees and reach for the outer edges of your feet. So you can give a nice tug against the pinky toe sides of your feet and bring yourself into more hip opening through this method of passive range of motion, right? We're using our hands to help us create it. Oh, it's so nice. And then side to side rocking. Find the middle. Use your hands to help pull the soles of your feet towards each other, and then let your legs go. Release the body for rest. Let your breath become spontaneous. And sometimes that can be a hard transition to move from controlled breath or restrained breath to spontaneous breath. So open and close your jaw a few times. Maybe bend and straighten your fingers and toes. And usually when you put your mind on another little task, when you come back to resting, now the breath can switch into automatic. Let your awareness begin to come back. You can feel body resting heavy on the ground. Begin to hear sounds happening around you or outside where you are, or maybe outside of the walls of the room that you're in. And invite your body to reach out to the sounds, stretching arms high and wide, extending long through the legs. Bend one knee and then the other. Roll over to your side. And press down into the floor. Make your way up to a seat. And closing eyes, join hands together. And we mark the way out through the sound of the Om. One time. Exhale fully. And draw a breath in. May the merits of this practice that we've done here today benefit all beings everywhere. Namaste.